Well, I'm being bold this morning. I'm not recording ahead of time with the opportunity to edit um, the Haftarah for Balak. I hope that this will be helpful for someone or someone's. It begins right away with a munach called munach legarmeh. That little right angle is called munach, and the line afterwards, in between the two words vehaya and she'erit, is called garmeh. And when that is the case, and followed by another Munach Revi'i, it is chanted in this special way. Vehaya She'irit Yaakov. Oh, I started right away with Torah reading instead. You have to start with Haftarah trope, which is Munach, Munach Revi'i. Even that was a little weak. Now I can start right. Munach, Munach. Here we go. Vehaya She'irit Yaakov בקרב עמים רבים כטל מאת אדוני כרביבים עלי עשב אשר לא יקווה לאיש ולא ייחל לבני אדם. I try to enunciate very carefully, so it's not yachel, it's yiyachel. Next line. Next verse. V'haya she'irit Yaakov bagoyim bekerev amim rabim ke'aryeh bevahamot ya'ar kichfir be'edrei tzon Asher im avar veramas v'taraf ve'ein matzil tarom yadecha al tzarecha v'chol oivecha yikaretu. Be careful on every sof pasuk. Use the little meteg, the little line, to tell you where the accent goes. So it is, in fact, Yikaretu Vehaya Vayohom Hahu Neum Adonai Vehichratihi Susecha Mikirbecha Vehaavaditi Markevotecha Vehichrati Are Artsecha Veharasti kol mivtzarecha vehichrati cheshafim miyadecha umeonanim lo yiyu lach vehichrati vesilecha umatzevotecha mikirbecha ולא תשתחווה עוד למעשה ידיך. So there you have a lot of syllables to get out before you get to the tibcha. So mercha is pretty much very simple. You've got to get that over velo tishtachaveh until you get tibcha all on od. Velo tishtachaveh od. Something like that would be appropriate. Venatashtihi asherecha mikirbecha vehishmariti arecha ve'asiti be'af uvechema nakam et hagoyim asher lo shameu shim'una et asher Adonai omer kum riv et harim v'tishmana hagvaot kolecha shim'u harim et riv Adonai v'ha'etanim mosdei aretz Kiriv Ladonai im Amo ve'im Yisrael yitvakach ami me'asiti lecha uma heleticha ane bi ki heliticha me'eretz Mitzrayim umi beit avadim pediticha va'esh lach lefanecha et Moshe Aharon u'Miriam. Ami. Now this is a Kamatz Katan, has pronounced Zechor. Zechor na Mayatz Balak melech Moav ume'anav oto Bil'am ben Beor min hashitim ad hagilgal leman da'at tzidkot Adonai bama akadem Adonai ikaf lelohe marom ha'akadmenu ve'olot in my text ba'agalim b'nei shana hayirtzeh Adonai be'alfei elim berivavot nachalei shamen ha'etein bechori pish'i perihi vitni chatat nafshi higid lecha Adam matov uma Adonai doresh mimcha ki im asot mishpat ve'ahavat chesed ve'hatznei lechet im Elohecha. And that goes right into the blessings afterwards. Baruch, etc., etc. Now, just a couple of notes. In the first verse, the second line, or towards the end of the verse, depending on the text you're using, the word is lo yikaveh. It's got a hyphen between them, so you treat them as one word with one trope, but it is in fact two. And yikaveh is connected. If you want to look it up, you'll see that it's the same root as tikva, which you might know from Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem, the hope. Sometimes there are tropes that are not all that common. So in the second verse, you have Tilisha Kitana, that little lollipop going in this direction. I like to think of it as going up a little step stool and back down. Tilisha Kitana. And if it's hard to say Tali, we don't use that in speech all that often. Just do the na. Na is more important. Na, that's the tune. Now, a few other little notes I wanted to make for you. Let's see. Sorry for. Oh, so if you'll look at the ninth verse that begins V'haya vayom hahu ne'um Adonai v'hichrati susecha. Those are your horses. It's sometimes tough to tell the difference between a samech and a mem sofit. So when a samech is at the end of a word, like 2 lines above, before the end of the verse, veramas, vetaraf, ve'ein matzil, well, because the samech is the last letter of the word, you might by accident say veramam. That would be wrong. Moving on, other notes I wanted to make. I think I mentioned. Oh, so if you look at the new chapter, it starts Micha chapter 6, verse 1, Shim Una. That is called a Tlisha. That is called a Zakef Gadol. You have Zakef Katon all the time, just the 2 dots. But when the line is next to it, it's called Zakef Gadol. That Zakef Gadol happens enough that you should really make sure to know it. You know, the difference between a person who does Haftarah and every unusual trop comes out Rivi'i, or every unusual trop comes out a little bit differently. That's okay. It's a way to begin. But once you really want to get good at this, every trope is going to have their proper melody. And actually, sorry, that said it again. A Zakef Gadol, one way to remember it is all around the world. Kids seem to like that, especially all around the world, and move your whole head when you practice it. Zakef Gadol, and you'll get it. So that's why it's Shimuna, Eight Asher Adonai, Omer, etc., etc. Let's see. You get another one, I think, in verse 3 of that chapter. Ami. Sometimes it's really clear what the rabbis were thinking when they chose which trope to be on which word, and sometimes it seems pretty random. At the end of the Haftarah, the very last verse, Higid Lecha, that is a mercha that comes before Tavir. You know Dargat Tavir, the Zorro sign, right? Followed by Tavir, the little mercha with a dot in the middle. Darga Tivir. Well, the mercha that comes before Tivir gets the outside notes. So instead of being a full Darga sound, it's just mercha Tivir. Well, I think that's enough for now. I will sign off with my typical good luck. Be in touch with any questions, corrections, anything at all. All the best. Bye-bye.